Hey there, everybody. This is Kristen from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you for this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And this is the week of Thanksgiving, and so it seemed appropriate to continue certainly with our gratitude practice, but I thought it might be kind of fun to play with the idea of having gratitude for challenges. So let me explain. What I mean by that is on holidays, and whether you're going to be keeping it simple or doing something that involves a lot of people, of course, Thanksgiving proper itself, and then perhaps even any shopping and errands and all of that sort of thing. There's definitely a lot of energy around the holiday, and so with that energy comes potential challenges. There can be challenges when it comes to people, particularly if you are going to be spending time with family that you don't necessarily spend a lot of time with. Whatever it might be, that one person, maybe somebody says something at the table that you find problematic, whatever it might be. There's definitely those challenges that relate to people, and then there's also challenges that relate to just I don't know, just the annoying inconveniences of life, wanting to try to achieve X, but there's something that thwarts you for whatever reason, be that traffic or the unavailability of whatever you're looking for, what have you. So I thought it would be kind of fun to mess around with that and exploring some challenges that we're currently facing, just to set the tone for the week. Not that you're trying to create challenges or anything like that, but as we know, life has its challenges. They are unavoidable. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf, all of that kind of stuff. So let's just mess around with that. And if for some reason you're just not feeling this in any way, absolutely no problem. Go ahead and just do your regular meditation. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. If you haven't already, go ahead and close your eyes or lower your gaze. And let's start with those deep belly breaths. Really filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. As best you can. For some people, that deeper breathing is very difficult. Remembering that you can always return to those deep breaths at any point in your meditation if you care to. So now the three anchors that we can rest our awareness on include the breath, or the body, or sounds. And if you've been practicing with us for a while, these are all pretty familiar. So I would just allow yourself to rest your awareness on whichever one feels most appropriate for you in this moment. And since we're talking about gratitude this week and having gratitude for the challenges that we face and the way that we grow from them, I'm going to encourage you to embrace any challenges you might have in this practice. You might feel perhaps a little too agitated or overstimulated. And you don't have to change that. Your job is to just notice it and be present with that circumstance, that challenge, even though it might not be ideal. And if for some reason you are challenged by a different circumstance, perhaps by sleepiness, once again welcoming that challenge as well and seeing what can you do to help you embrace that challenge for this particular meditation. Perhaps exploring with curiosity, what does sleepiness feel like? What does it feel like in your body or your face? Exploring that with that curious interest. And if it's helpful, perhaps even shifting into a standing posture if that helps you with your sleepiness, or even walking if that's useful. So I'm going to have us sit in silence for a little while, and then I'm going to circle back to this idea of gratitude for challenges. So let's just settle in where we are in this moment and just rest. Rest your awareness on either your breath or sounds or the body. And when you're ready, I'll bring your attention back to the sound of my voice. And what I'd like for you to do is just bring to mind some challenges that you faced recently. Not the most difficult or the most problematic. We want to pick up the 5-pound weight, not the 50-pound weight. But some challenges that you have been dealing with, either at home or work. Bringing it to mind. And first, I'm going to encourage you to give yourself a bit of self-compassion, saying to yourself, this is hard. It's not self-pitying or self-indulgent. You're just noticing you're having to deal with this and you'd rather not. And next, I'd like for you to flip this challenge and think, if you can, about some of the ways that it has been, in even the smallest way, beneficial to you. Have you learned something? Have you grown in some way? And even though perhaps we would prefer to grow and learn without so many challenges, extending a little bit of gratitude for having had this opportunity to grow and to learn, to have clarity in a way perhaps you didn't before. You're not saying this challenge is necessarily good or that you'd welcome it again, but you are acknowledging the fact that you've either gotten through it or are working through it right now, and that as a result, you will be stronger and you will have experienced some growth of some kind. And I'd like for you to also offer some gratitude to yourself for having the capacity to deal with this challenge, for having the capacity to have patience with a person, for having the capacity to be resilient in spite of frustrations, and allowing yourself really to just immerse yourself in the gratitude for all of your qualities of character that allow you to go forward in spite of these challenges, and that these same qualities of character will carry you through into any future challenges that you may face. Okay, that's 10 minutes. So the hope through this practice is that, first of all, that you acknowledge the fact that there are some challenges that you may be facing. It's pretty rare that any of us in any given moment are not facing some sort of a challenge or dealing with something that is different than how we would prefer it to be. And acknowledging that and acknowledging the fact that that can be really, difficult, and that's okay to acknowledge that it is difficult. And then transitioning into this idea of, okay, I'm acknowledging that it's difficult and there's something that can be gained from this, some growth, some personal evolution, just knowing that you can come through on the other side. And then there's something very validating about that, which I think is useful. And then the knowledge that you have this capacity to deal with and get through whatever it is that you have dealt with in the past, and that you can bring that forward. So if for some reason you do have some challenges over this holiday week, you know that you have the resilience, the patience, the inner strength, the fortitude, whatever it might be, to deal with whatever comes your way, no matter how big or how small. So, hoping that you will have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And as always, thank you so much for allowing me to be with you on this journey. And thank you, of course, for taking this time for yourself. I'll see you guys next time.